Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we go TNA when we brace for Impact at 7:55 p.m. Eastern. Friday we secure all details as we answer the call for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. Eastern. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
Welcome everyone to episode 90 of the Chris Parrish podcast. I did not come alone because, as you can see, we are joined by the man from Medicine Hat. He is a crazy mofo. He goes by the name of ikaze.
All right. Doing great, buddy. Thank you for having me once again. How you been?
I've been doing well, you know. You keep grinding. That's kind of just how life goes.
Amen to that.
It's been a little while since we've had you on. We did talk about the part 2, and we are here with the part 2. So since the last time we talked, you have been a busy man. What have you been up to since that last time? How many more championships have you won?
Well, I think I had like a total of 3 at one point. Pure Power Wrestling Tag Team Champion with Cody Mack, CW Central Canadian Champion, and then there was RCW Real Canadian Wrestling British Commonwealth Championship. I was rocking all 3 championships from 3 different promotions, and I've had the CWE title for almost a year this November. I held the British Commonwealth title for a year, and the tag titles I held them multiple times, but it's been good, buddy. It's been real good. But right now I'm just the CW Central Canadian Champion, but it was a good run for over half a year for sure. I had 3 championships. Rock and roll.
Yeah, you've been on a roll as of late, and I know we talked about you coming back to the world of pro wrestling, but I kind of do want to talk about the CWE a little bit, if you don't mind, because the CWE is something that Turnbuckle Studios very much are a friends of, as when you go to the Sault Ste. Marie, you will see Carl Raphael and Chris Best, among others, commentating and being a part. What is it like with the CWE? Because in Canada, they are by far the premier company that travels throughout the East and West Coast, all through Alberta, all the way to Ontario, and even other places. You go with them. You do just as much. They're bringing in big names. I know they're bringing in the Brian Kendrick coming up.
Right.
Man, I wish I was there, but unfortunately I won't be in the province. I'll be in Ontario when they're in Alberta.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah. But tell me more about just working with the Canadian Wrestling Elite, the names they bring in, and what you get to do just from an independent wrestler, but also get a chance to learn and sponge off some of these names.
Absolutely, man. I have to tell you right now, the Canadian Wrestling Elite, the CWE, is my bread and butter. It is the big main reason why I can do this full time as a professional wrestler with no other side jobs or anything like that. It's because of the CWE. It's everything I ever wanted since I was a kid, wanted to get into this industry, just to like be a part of the grind and do it night after night. And it's exactly that. It still has that old school mentality of just like working with the veterans and the names we bring in and the legends we bring in, and just touring with these guys and traveling with them night after night, traveling in the cars with them, spending time in the locker room with them, working with them in the ring. Like, that's how you get good. That's how you get better. That's how you improve. And these guys have been there, done that, made money, and have been successes and at a high level. You know, it's incomparable to like even a lot of stars of today, just the reps that they have and the experience they have. Like, it's a lost art in a lot of respects. And I'm old school. I love and respect all the guys that have come before me. And it's an honor just to learn from all these stars and legends, and just to be grinding, man, with merchandise sales and the payoffs I'm getting. I'm getting by. I'm living the dream. And I wouldn't be able to do that without the Canadian Wrestling's Elite. And then from there, you know, I'm touring from Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. And then in between the tour dates, I just pick and fill up my schedule with local promotions, and I get out to British Columbia, and I'm just trying to get out as much as physically possible all across Canada. I do not want to be just a big fish in a small pond and stuck in the bubble. You know what I mean? And CWE has given me that opportunity. They give me the ball, and I'm trying to run as fast and far as I can with it. So it's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool, because it's one thing to just have that show once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. But when you get to do a night in, night out, again, I mentioned that grind. The grind is always the part of the lifestyle that not everybody is cut out for. But
it's true.
And the names that you see that are brought in, they are doing that grind tenfold to what any of us could ever dream possible. I want to kind of get to maybe that piece of information, whether it's that piece of advice that you do get out of all the names you get to share a locker room with. Who are some of the best people to ask for advice, and what is the best piece of advice you've gotten?
Well, there's been a lot of different advices for different situations. From so many different veterans and legends. I'm just thinking of names right now, like off the top of my head, like Shane Douglas was amazing. Like, just listening to him, just telling all these stories and experiences as he's had. And he was just so friendly. He was like your favorite grandpa. And I don't mean to say that because, well, he is up in age, but like, he just had that nice kindness to him, you know, that aura of like, he's like your favorite uncle, your favorite grandpa. Like, you could just talk to him about anything. And D'Lo Brown was so super cool, so awesome. He's like a big kid, man. He was so solid, just great for advice. He watched all of our matches all the time. It was just an agent mode all the time, just always giving us pointers, advice, critique. And then also Savio Vega, man. Actually, from Savio Vega, I would have to say Savio Vega stands out as like, he just really took a liking to me, took me under his wing. And some of the best advice that I got from him that really stands out to me was just, have a good routine. When you're doing this night in, night out, grinding away, have a good, safe routine that you can do with your eyes closed confidently, and just, bang it off like nothing. It's one thing to be doing different things every night and taking risks, but if you just have a good routine that works, stick with it. So he's really putting over just sticking with a good routine. And I think I found a good routine with a lot of my work. So I really took that one from him for sure, from Savio Vega.
Yeah, because one of the biggest things about life, even just in pure wrestling, but in life, sometimes it's really hard to find out what works for you. Yeah. And when you find out what works for you, you really have those good days. You have a good mind in between those ears, and you can really go and attack the day. And that's no different from pro wrestling. When you can find 100%. What works for you, you can get that rhythm. You can have good matches, night in, night out. All of a sudden, momentum's picking up for you. So that's really cool to hear. I want to kind of get your thoughts, because you've used the phrase old school before. And yeah. I think that's always cool, because like we all know the evolution of pro wrestling. Sure. We grew up, whether it's 80s, 90s, even 2000s, there was a style of pro wrestling that we loved. Now we're seeing a little bit more of an open style in pro wrestling. with now a little bit more of a mixture of those times coming back. How do you assess the world of pro wrestling right now, and how do you find your way when you have to go and work with somebody that is more towards that current style compared to maybe the style that is from the 80s, 90s, 2000s?
Well, I'm gonna be. I don't even want to say like biased, but like it is a better style when it comes to just storytelling, psychology, things making sense. Especially with the newer generation, they're very caught up in just like doing the moves and thinking that's good, getting the car crash reactions. And fundamentals have really gone by the wayside, I find personally a lot when I watch things, but those are so important. Fundamentals and why. Why is this happening right now? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? If you have a good question or a good answer to why, you're on the right track. But soon as you can't really answer why this is happening, and your only good answer is, well, it looks cool, or I've seen someone else do it and I want to do it, we're getting off track here. We're not telling a good story anymore. And sometimes that rubs a lot of these guys the wrong way, but I mean, it doesn't bother me because most of them have only been working 2, 3, 4, 5 years and still have a lot to learn to begin with. But I find the newer generation personally, they get more offended and can't take critique very well, sadly. More so than ever before. I just find I see a lot of insecurity in their eyes, and they'd rather be told what they did good instead of what they need to work on. But not everyone. There's a lot of good young talent that are the complete opposite and just are sponges and want to take everything and know what they're doing wrong and improve. But I find there is more than ever before, more of a generation of just wanting to be praised and told what they've done well. And just because they can do a bunch of cool flips and a cool gymnastics routine and a dance routine, they think that's pro wrestling, but it really isn't. And it's a lot of these guys are trying to reinvent the wheel, but it does not need to be reinvented personally. It works. If you do it right, it works, especially in front of families and children in particular, which is your core audience to begin with. When we start catering towards a niche audience, the indie-rific crowds, they're going to be there regardless. They're going to be there because they love wrestling. But this is all about making money, selling tickets, putting asses in seats. And by doing that, you cater to the families and the children and the younger generation. It's going to spread a lot more. And even the closet wrestling fans that maybe loved it 20 years ago, but then fell out of it. I'm a firm believer that this old school way is still the way to go, personally. But no, it's about putting your foot down and just being like, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's try this. And I try and, I compromise. I make sure they're still getting what they need to do, but we're doing it in a way that makes sense. That's the most important thing, is the psychology needs to be there. The story needs to be there. And why is this happening? That question needs to be answered. So sorry, that was a long-winded answer to everything, but I get pretty passionate about those kind of things.
That's okay, because again, this is the great part about just talking wrestling, right? We want to hear that passion. We always do, because it's that passion that drives us. It's that passion that brings our attention. It brings our emotion out. And that's exactly what pro wrestling is how do we invest emotion? Because you said it. If you can't answer the why, then what are we even doing? If you can't even answer the why are you watching this, then again, the whole point is just change the channel. But
right?
There's always a reason, and sometimes the smallest reason might even be the best reason out there. You talked about going and doing merchandising. Lately, we saw a clip go viral with Matt Cardona talking about how important it is to use not just social media, but being in front of your audience, selling from the merchandise booth.
Yeah.
What have you noticed about the world of pro wrestling, even local independent wrestling, when it comes to the art of merchandising and selling? How is that important to you and what you do? And what is something that you want to see maybe improve on?
I once, just to start here, I'd seen those clips with Matt Cardone, and I couldn't agree more with everything he's been saying about all that kind of stuff. Just being at the merch table until the show begins and pushing your stuff, like, and just getting those interactions. That's how you get more over with everybody, is making a personal relationship even before your entrance and everything. You can interact with these great people and get yourself more over, whether it be as a babyface or a heel, whatever it may be. But it's just such a great tool. And then with merchandising, I think we're so blessed with technology and just this day and age. It's so easy now to just like slap your likeness on anything. And I'm a big fan of like just the way the band Kiss has really done things. Like they can throw their likeness on a piece of toilet paper, for crying out loud, and they have, and it's worked. So that's the mentality you got to have, is like, if you can make yourself marketable and make people want to see you and buy your stuff, like, sky's the limit. You can throw your likeness, your face on just about anything. And I've been doing that myself. I've been really getting in all kinds of crazy trinkets and all kinds of cool stuff. And it's fun. And it amuses me just watching everyone else too, and all the avenues they go down and the different things they're doing. It's fun, man. And I encourage it. Like, that's my bread and butter. It's, next to my payoffs, the merchandise is the big money maker for me. So I'm all about just this is a business of making money, and especially for what you do to your body. So I encourage everyone to get into the merch game. Absolutely.
If you were to rank the best Canadian independent wrestler on the merch game, who would you say it is?
Mentalo has a lot of cool stuff. He gets cool things from action figures from Mexico and cool masks. I'd like to think I'm probably up there as well, but I'm not going to just toot my horn here. I'm thinking other people. Bobby Sharp has a great little variety of stuff as well. Those two come to mind. I remember Danny Duggan back in the day would have like 2 tables full of all kinds of things, not just stuff of his, but just like memorabilia and stuff like that. Like, he was a monster, a merchandise monster back in the day. Yeah, those guys come to mind immediately right now for sure.
Do you yourself have a favorite piece of memorabilia? And like, what is, if you were to advertise your own merch booth right now, what is the one item you got to tell everybody you need right now?
I'd say like the big seller that always goes is that crazy mofo Ninja Turtle styles kamikaze t-shirt. It just seems to really get everyone's attention. That's like a high seller. But another big one, if I have to put anything over, would be these crochet custom-made dolls from a lady on Instagram. She's called The Crochet Machine. She does fantastic work. Check her out, guys. But those things go like hotcakes. Those have been moving like nobody's business. The demand is super high. As soon as I get them, they're gone within a couple events. So that one, I always push hard for it. I don't even have to push hard. They sell themselves, quite frankly. But that one comes to mind immediately. The crochet doll, for sure.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite piece of memorabilia you had when you were a kid?
Hulk Hogan stuff. I have the foam #1 Hulkster finger, and the toy as well, the LGN toy with the championship belt. Those stand out to me, and I just actually posted those on a Hulk Hogan tribute when he sadly passed away. It's on my Instagram right now. You can see that stuff. And my dad has the bandana. I posted a picture of that as well, the old Hulkster bandana. Those stand out to me. I think those are some personal favorites for sure. I got like a Dairy Queen Big Boss Man and Ultimate Warrior stamp. They were like selling those with like meals. Those stand out to me. Yeah, just old school stuff like that for sure. The LGN figures for sure. Those original ones.
How are you aware that they're bringing them back?
No way. I had no idea. Like WWE's doing that?
Yep. And you can get
wow.
And the one thing I really hope we get is just more current of the roster. Like I get it. Like people will want the Hulk Hogans, they want the Undertakers, but this is your time where you got to sell your current group, whether it's the Roman Reigns, whether it's the CM Punks, whether it's the Cody Rhodes, but give us, Rhea Ripley, give us, an Io Sky. Like I would like to see that. It was no different from when we were getting those ice cream bars back.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wanted to see more of the current crop be on there instead of all the nostalgic acts, which don't get me wrong. I love a good nostalgic act, but I'm not watching nostalgic every week. I'm watching the current
product.
So, and that's a great kind of segue. The current product is something that is booming right now, whether or not you're a fan of one company, a different company, all companies. Who are some of the companies or even the people that you're watching on the current day? Because we all know that, again, like you mentioned, you're a big Hulk Hogan fan. Who is Kamikaze watching every week right now?
Man, to be honest, I've been trying to the boys will sometimes, like, we just watched a little bit of SummerSlam, and it was a little tough, to be honest. Like, the entrances was like 40 minutes long before the match even started. It was pretty wild, man. I was like, holy smokes, you gotta have some patience with this. But no, it's a whole other animal now. It really is. Honestly, I still just study and watch like old stuff. I'm not too, and I think that's a big of a problem right now with like the newer generation. They're just kind of ripping off the current stuff, what's going on, whether it be trendy indie stuff or what's trendy in WWE, AEW, TNA, and they're just ripping it off and doing it themselves. But watching old footage, and I'm talking like, I like stuff from the black and white days to the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. You can now pick and steal things that no one's doing and make it your own. There's a lot more originality going back to more old school footage, in my opinion. But TNA is really impressing me right now. They got some huge steam. I did recently a tryout with them, and it was just super cool being backstage and just seeing how much of a monster they're becoming, how much more professional things are. Because I did a tryout with them like years ago in 2011 for the Gut Check Challenge when they used to do those in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it's night and day comparing it from 2011 to right now, night and day. Like, you can tell with the WWE relationship, it's lit a fire under their ass, and like it's promising, man. I'm rooting for TNA right now, to be honest, out of everyone.
Yeah, you touched on it. The relationship TNA and WWE have. How insane is it that we're seeing a day and age where the WWE, TNA, they're working together? We're seeing the WWE purchase AAA, and we're seeing Mr. Iguana on SmackDown. Then we have, alliances with AEW and CMLL. We have New Japan alliances over there. We're seeing all these working alliances. It's not like the days of old where it's one territory versus the other. We're seeing everyone, for the most part, work together. Just as a wrestling fan, like, how does this make you feel? And then how insane of a world do we live in when this is what the world of pro wrestling is now?
It's pretty cool. I think it's for the best, for the betterment of the industry as a whole. When companies are working together, I think it's more promising for opportunities for everybody and places to go and work, because it was monopolized for the longest time. You know that. And, it's good to see other alternatives out there. And I'm rooting for them all. I want everyone to be making money and being happy and providing for themselves and their families, and, just not destroying themselves for nothing, because this is a tough business on the body, mentally and physically. So I want guys to be profiting. I want to be profiting. So yeah, man, it's a very positive thing right now. I think it's very good. And I think it helps get eyes on more wrestlers, and maybe wrestlers you've never heard of either. So it's a good thing. I'm rooting for everyone, to be honest. It's positive.
You talked about being impressed with TNA. Did you get a chance to see AJ Styles return to TNA at Slammiversary?
I seen clips of that, actually. It was, what a reaction. Hey, that was super cool. And Leon Slater got the rub from him. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, I think just, wrestling fans getting moments like that. It's just truly special. And it's not just AJ Styles coming out. It's him going back to the theme that he's said publicly he doesn't like.
Right. I read that.
You just know that you have to do it. It's if you go back to TNA like that, that's your audio, right? Like that.
Absolutely, that is. And I remember when that song came out, and when TNA hit the scene in 2002, they're doing those Wednesday night pay-per-views. And the first time hearing AJ Styles music, it's like, this is so cool. Like I had to like download it off the computer. Like it was so awesome, man. And even like that package they made pumping him up, like with the little case that it opens up and his old gear is in there and stuff like that. Like the production and stuff is really, they're really upping the ante on a lot of things and just hyping it up. It was very well done. Very well done.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool to see just how open WWE is working with TNA and understanding that, you know, AJ Styles was the face of TNA for the longest of time. Now we're seeing AJ Styles have that moment back. Whether or not he has a match back, that remains to be seen. I think that would be one of the coolest things.
That'd be out of control. Yeah.
But I'll just do this. Since we are living in a insane world of professional wrestling, I feel dream matches, whether it's interpromotional, are more likely to come because
agreed.
Who would have thought Joe Hendry, the TNA World Champion, is wrestling Randy Orton at WrestleMania? That happened in 2025.
Yeah, man, it's wild. It is. You're right. It's a wild time to be a wrestling fan again. It's great. I thought the best time was like back when we were teenagers. You had like ECW, WCW, WWE all running wild. Like there's wrestling 7 days a week on every night on some channel. But now it's in a different type of way. We're getting that boom back, and it's beautiful. It's really good to see, you know.
So I got to ask you this question: if you got a fantasy match right now of the current group, so one match you need could be from any company, but it is current. Who is that match, or what is that match? Who's in that match? What does Kamikaze want for a fantasy dream match?
Well, honestly, man, I'd like to think I'm one hell of a baby face, and it takes a really good heel. Takes two to tango, and when you got those two combustible elements, a great baby face and a great heel, it's magic. That's when you make magic. And I just see the way this man gets heat all the time for himself, and the way he conducts himself on the mic, and the way I've been spitting licks on promos. Like I think MJF, to be honest, would be a bit of a dream one. Just I think we could make a lot of money, and there's a lot of material there, you know, just for verbal jousting, not even getting in the ring. That one comes to mind. I think a lot of money could be made for sure.
Now, I think anything is possible in wrestling. And then I see Happy Gilmore too, and I see both MJF, I see Becky Lynch in the same movie. Right. I see interaction of these companies in outside industries. I'm seeing pro wrestlers in movies a lot more nowadays.
Cody Rhodes and the Naked Gun.
Yeah. And I have to ask, what is your favorite movie that has a professional wrestler in it?
Oh, wow, dude. Well, immediately what comes to mind is the original old school from like the 70s, The Wrestler, with Vern Gagne and Billy Robinson and like Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch and all those old ones, man. There's another good one called I Like to Hurt People, which like basically has a lot of footage from like the late 70s, early 80s of the Sheik's promotion in Detroit, and Andre the Giant is in it and stuff like that. I just like seeing these guys, you know, on the big screen. The remake of The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, you know, there's a lot of good talent in that one too. But I mean, like Hulk Hogan probably comes to mind. Like I just seen a wicked clip of him in Gremlins 2, and he's just like cutting a huge promo because the Gremlins are like messing with the movie and stuff. Like that's pretty awesome. There's a lot, but yeah, Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster, probably. Suburban Commando is pretty solid.
There's something about those old movies that are just different, and like you can't really always put a finger on it, and maybe it is just the fact that they're so silly but they're funny, and because it just capitulates the era at the time. One of the things I think is so great watching wrestlers in movies now is that the perception of wrestlers is completely different in Hollywood. I think that the perception of wrestlers in the world is now different. What we live in a time now where I don't think people look at wrestling and they always say, "Oh, that's the not real stuff. That's that bogus stuff."
Right.
And now there's an appreciation and a respect
Yes.
to
Yes.
given to pro wrestlers, especially in Hollywood, given how, guys like Hulk Hogan, Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, even Batista have really done well in that world. What is the one thing about pro wrestling from your first day of training camp to modern day that has opened your eyes and made you proud to say you are a pro wrestler?
Oh man, honestly, since day one, I always had that pride. I remember Chi Cruz telling me, our first trainer, Cheech, he was like, a pro wrestler never loses a fight. And that really stuck with me, just on those old school mentalities of defending the business. And like because it's true. I love how you said that, because now there is an appreciation and respect. But breaking in, that wasn't the case still as we were coming up. Like, it still had like the guys were rolling their eyes. I even had friends that just didn't take it seriously, thought I was a fake and a phony and stuff like that. Family members too. But no, you're right. This day and age, it does have a much bigger respect now to it. Just, I think, from the exposés and just the information age and just all the documentaries and stuff like that, I think have opened up a lot of people's eyes. But yeah, I remember Chi Cruz saying like, a pro wrestler never loses a fight. And that was almost just like motivation, that if I ever do get into a confrontation and some guys calling me a fake and a phony, it's my job to set them straight. And like, and I was, even before wrestling, my dad taught me just to be like a dirty fighter, to shove your thumb down a man's eye socket and fish hook them. And so like, and then you get all the wrestling training on top of that. And I don't condone this, but like at the time, just defending the business, like, yeah, I'm going to make sure this guy knows and realizes I'm not a fake, I'm not a phony, and not to mess with a professional wrestler when it's all said and done. And the next time he sees his buddies and we come through town, he'll be like, whoa, no, don't mess with those guys. But just Cheech saying a pro wrestler never loses a fight was just like that motivation that like, okay, the pressure's on. You don't let him down. You don't let this industry down, this business down. If you do get an altercation, you can't give up. You can't lay down. A pro wrestler never loses a fight. So that always has stuck with me, to like just defend the business in a certain way like that. Yeah, thanks to Chi Cruz.
So for you, it's more of what defines the meaning of being a pro wrestler than any necessary act or moment. It's really what it truly means to be a pro wrestler. So I gotta ask then, we just saw Netflix and WWE bring out WWE Unreal, where it takes you behind the curtain and shows you not everything, but a lot of behind the scenes. And it reminded me a lot of the show Breaking Ground that we saw in NXT. Have you seen Unreal? And given now what you said about protecting the business, what are your thoughts about WWE Unreal?
Well, I've seen clips of it. I mean, like, we're at a point now with the internet, things have been exposed, and like, you got to almost let it go in a lot of respects. I'll still at an event treat it like, it's like, especially with the children, man, it's like Santa Claus. You don't want to ruin this for them, that moment. Like, so at an event, I'm in full mode. Like, I'm treating this like a shoot, like this is the real deal. As soon as you don't believe it, then they're not going to either. I was just on an event recently, and the announcer, he like exposed everything. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, I realize that this is predetermined, but blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? When you go to a movie, they don't like pull the curtain from underneath and you see like the lighting guys and the guy with the boomstick and the cameraman. Like, you're there to suspend people's disbelief for several hours. Why would you say that? So at an event, I think it's different. But when you're just in the public eye and you're talking to people, I'll still I won't give away all the tricks of the trade, but like, it has been exposed enough through media and the internet that people know, it is an extremely physical form of entertainment. And I will give them little snippets and pieces, all depending on who it is. But with this is just another expose of things with WWE. And I mean, who am I to say? They're making billions of dollars. Business is booming. You know, they're going to just roll with it. So it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. I know it's not for everyone. I know there's a lot of people that have that perception that some things just shouldn't be said. And whether or not people say they know it or whatnot, it's another thing to actually go out and put a TV show about it. But I personally am at the point just like you. We've come a long way. People have gone a long way. The people on the other side of the curtain know a lot more about what happens on the other side of the curtain.
Right.
And to me, it's never about just having you think, oh, this person and that person truly hate each other to the point where they're smashing a ladder in their face and like this is, you know, a pure hatred. Yes, on a show, because it is like I've always said that it's like the most in your face play you'll ever go to.
Yeah.
And
Full contact theater.
Just like a movie or a theater, you're going to sit back, you're going to get invested with the characters, you're going to get invested with the story that they're telling, and you're going to get mesmerized by the theatrics that they do. Very similar to pro wrestling. Now, I'm also like you. Then I'm just not going to say, yes, this is what happens. This is what happens.
Right.
But at the same time, it is a different ballgame when you are performing with adults, with kids. I know I'm a completely different character when I see an adult and I see a child.
Right.
How do you, as Kamikaze, as the character, differ when you have a 40-year-old grown adult to maybe a 5-year-old kid?
Right. I love the children, man. They're just something about that energy they bring because they believe it. They believe it. And that's what we want. That is the art behind this, is making them believe. You know, that is the true art behind it. If it's just for a couple minutes for the whole entire event, but making them believe that this might actually be legit, or like just having them sucked into it, invested into it, and buying into what you're doing, everything you're doing. That's the art. And the children are the easiest. So you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to pick away at that and expose that. And for the adults, I kind of still act the same way. However, you know, it all depends. It all depends on how they talk to me, to be completely honest. And when they expose how much they know, that gives me the boundaries to where I can go and how far we can take things. But if they're still up in the air and they're like questioning, was that real or was that supposed to happen? I'll go with it. I'll roll with it. I'll be like, yeah, like they hate each other. That, you know, it's part of the whole, that's the art behind it. And anytime I can keep that alive, I'm going to keep it alive, you know?
Yeah.
It's circumstantial.
I read in Dustin Runnels' book that at one point he always went out looking at who he thought looked like the least invested fan. And
Yes.
he made it his goal and his job to make sure that person was the most invested fan at the end of the day. And he said he did that more times than he failed. And I always wondered, I'm like, I think that's the art. That's truly the art. It doesn't matter if the audience feels that they know the trick. It's our job as performers to make you second guess whether or not you know the truth or not. So even if we make you second guess your knowledge, we've done our job. And I think that is just something that I think a lot of people can understand as entertainers, because I don't think pro wrestlers now are offended by the phrase entertainers. They're only offended when you say what we do is not real. Because yes,
100%. That is a ridiculous statement.
Yeah. Like, of course, like I never once think pro wrestling is going to be in the Olympic Games. But the fact that it's the longest episodic television show of all time just says more people will tune in to watch it than just about anything else. So what does that really say about the perception of whether this is real or not?
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, man. I feel you there. I feel you there for sure. Yeah, man.
Uh,
It's the most one of a kind art form of entertainment you'll find anywhere. Full contact theater, just yeah. When people say you're a fake or a phony, it's like already it's just like you couldn't even lace my damn boots. You know what I mean? Like not a chance if you're talking like that. You do not understand. You don't get it.
Well,
So.
we all know the guy at the circus isn't an actual clown. He's just playing the part of a clown. He doesn't go home and make balloon animals when he's bored. It's like that's what he does when he puts on his attire and he paints his face. He puts on the red nose. It's a show, and that is one of the most impressive things about pro wrestling is that it's all these things combined. And it's like, have you ever, as a kid, gone into a McDonald's, an A&W, and you didn't know what drink you want? So you just put everything in the cup?
Yeah. It's a huge. It is. It's like a 3-ring circus. You get a little variety of everything. The pageantry, the entertainment. There's comedy. There's athleticism. There's larger than life characters. There's men and women. There's everything. The little people, the minis. There's it's variety. It's of hardcore wrestling, all kinds of things. It's a 3-ring circus, but with more than just 3 rings, and that's what makes it so beautiful.
Yeah, when there's 3 rings, it's World War III in WCW, right?
Yeah, love it. It's the first pay-per-view I ever watched, actually. World War III in 1998.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah,
I gotta ask you, what is your favorite gimmick / what is your favorite pay-per-view? Now,
oh boy.
Kelly.
Well, World War III, that pay-per-view in 1998, I was just like 12 years old, really into wrestling. I didn't even know the difference between WCW, WWF yet. I just seen this pay-per-view being advertised and I had to get it. So I was like, the first pay-per-view I ever watched really was World War III, 1998. For favorite pay-per-views, I mean, like WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 18 come to mind. SummerSlam 2001 or 2, I think it was. The one where Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle opened the event. I think that's 02. That's just
SummerSlam 04, I believe.
Okay, I'm off on that then. But just star-studded.
That was the same one with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. With the match, I believe.
Star-studded SummerSlam there. So good. What was the other question you had?
Well, I asked what your favorite gimmick match.
Gimmick match.
What your favorite
match. I mean, a good traditional ladder match is pretty awesome to me. And same with Hell in a Cell is pretty neat, especially those early ones like Michaels and Taker is unreal. That stands out for sure. I'm probably missing. There's a lot of different gimmick matches, but a 2 out of 3 falls match I'm a big fan of as well.
Yeah. I asked this because I know that you have mentioned Pure Power Wrestling. I know it's a place that I've had a lot of work as well. They do the Power Rumble every year, and it very much feels like it's the Royal Rumble for Western Canada. What can you say about the Power Rumble and how, is that something that you love to do? Because I know it was one of my favorite events when I worked with Pure Power Wrestling.
Yeah, man, it was a big deal too. I mean, the last one we just did was a huge house. It drew big. People love Rumbles. People love Battle Royals. They still draw well when promoted correctly and used sparingly. Once a year in particular, it seems to really work. People are really into the Pure Power Wrestling Power Rumble. Another one that comes to mind is CWE's Rumble to Remember. It's like a 50-man Rumble in Winnipeg. That one's pretty epic, and you just never know who's going to show up for that one either. But yeah, man, those are just people just love a good Rumble Battle Royal style match. Just all these guys just hanging and banging and struggling to throw them over the top rope. There's just something about it,
And to me, it's the returns, it's the debuts, it's sometimes the not knowing, it's those countdowns and who is it? Yeah. You hear the music. I've been very fortunate enough that I've gone to 2 Royal Rumbles, and I can tell you that I am flat out hooked. It is one of my favorite shows to go to. And I don't know if I get tired of it because they just always seem to get better. But it's that anticipation. And sometimes, again, like we talk about whether you know or you don't know, that is one of the best examples of we don't know and we can't wait to find out.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, that's tremendous. Like, you can't beat it, especially being there live. I couldn't imagine just how cool that would be to see that, like the entrances and stuff like that, and the surprises. Like, that's amazing, dude.
But yeah, no, what is your favorite one to perform in? I know, like you've done some ladder matches. I know you've done the rumbles. Have you done cage matches? Have you done what's your favorite gimmick match to perform in?
Well, I love a good traditional ladder match. I had a really good one in front of Roddy Piper versus Nick Price back in 2011. That one stands out to me. But funny you talk about steel cage matches. I did almost, I believe, 16 steel cage matches this year for DWE. Yeah, I think I'm like Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes or something.
I remember that. How's your body after all that?
Your forearms and your elbows take a good beating, and the palms of your hands just from racking into the cage all the time. Like, yeah, I was pretty bruised up, and I was sick as a dog too, man. Like, I had a terrible lung infection, so I was like in the main event steel cage match every night on tour, and I was just like dying. But as soon as the adrenaline hit, like I was okay. But like leading up, right before my music hit, I literally would just sit in my chair, just like spraying water on my face, trying to stay alive, and then the adrenaline would kick. That was a hell of an experience. But yeah, I did like 16 in half a year.
That's awesome. How sturdy was that cage?
Really well built. It was excellent. It was brand new. They just brought it on tour, and it was a bit of a bastard, actually, especially in Ontario. That extra weight in the trailer, our tires kept bursting and popping. We went through like 3 or 4 tires on our trailer in Ontario in like middle of winter too. Like, it was just too much weight in the trailer. But it's a great cage. It was fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's always the match I want to do. That's the one match I have not done. I've always wanted to. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm a psycho for saying this, but I look at stuff and I'm like, what can I jump off of? And I still have that I'm almost 40 and I still have that mindset. So I don't know what's wrong with us. I don't know why we always look at, hey, is it cool to hit people with that? Is it cool to jump off of? But that's just how we're wired. You're
a pro wrestler, man. That's just it. That's nothing needs to be said more than that. You're a professional wrestler.
I was just on a ladder the other day cleaning out our gutters, and I'm just like, do I do this? And if I did it, my wife would probably be like, just shaking her head. She'd be like,
yeah, man, you'd be in trouble, I think. But I don't blame you, man. I remember one time when I was a teenager, 15 years old, my grandma, God bless her soul, she was bent over tying her shoe, and it was like perfect. Like, I could have just put her head in between my legs, and I just had this urge to powerbomb my grandma. I was like, I didn't, of course, but that was like, we're wrestlers. That just goes through your head. That's what happens,
Yeah, I think psycho is the right word to call us when we're talking about whether or not we want powerbomb grandma.
Right. I didn't do it, but damn it, shame on me.
That's too good. Cam, I want to just take this time to say thank you so much for making this happen. We are here in the middle of August. What do you have coming up in the world of Kamikaze with your shows, and where can the people find you, whether it's in the ring or on social media?
All right. So this Friday, I'm in Edmonton for Real Canadian Wrestling. I'll be wrestling Weston King alongside with his manager, Gussie Jones. Then from there, I hit the road next Wednesday for Canadian Wrestling's Elite 17-day tour. We'll be going across Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, 17 dates. The headliner will be the Brian Kendrick, and I'm in a whole bunch of whack of different matches, wrestling tag matches and singles matches, defending my Central Canadian Championship. There's a good variety of talent. It's going to be a good time. 17 days. Then I get off the road. I may have a book. Yeah, I do. I'm in Drumheller that following week as soon as I get off the road. for Real Canadian Wrestling. Once again, you can see me in Drumheller. From there, I think I finally get a little bit of rest, but I very well could fill that spot up. And then I go to Enmax in Lethbridge for the biggest show of the year for Pure Power Wrestling. Is at Enmax, the Visit Lethbridge.com arena. Their biggest show of the year. It'll be in the Enmax Lethbridge Arena. And I'll be there for Pure Power Wrestling. And then after that, TNA Wrestling's making their way to Edmonton. And you just might see me there backstage doing some things. And then from there, I think I'm doing Thrash Wrestling in British Columbia. And even before that, I got a comic expo right after TNA Wrestling. I'll be in Medicine Hat making an appearance at the Comic and Anime Expo right here in my hometown, Medicine Hat. I'll have my own merch table. You come talk to me, selling merchandise. I'll be doing some emceeing and judging some costume contests as well. And I'm also going to be doing a Q&A as well there. So I'm busy, man. And then I'll be in British Columbia after that. And the list goes on and on. That's all I can think of at the top of my head. But that's going into October already.
Wow. Awesome stuff. Well, if you're in TNA in Edmonton and you see me row 3 on the floor, come give me a high five.
I will, brother. I will.
Awesome. Cam, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this again. Always love having
Thank you.
It's always fun just to have your passion, your energy, just be a part. And I think one of the best things about you is the fact that ever since the first day I met you till now, that has never gone away. It's truly an art form that I think, just from a human being standpoint, I think I respect the most about you. I want to say congratulations with what you're doing, how busy you're doing it, and congratulations with all the titles that you are getting, but also the opportunities. You deserve it. You're doing a hell of a job, and I appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate you, brother. God bless you. Thank you. That means the world coming from you, Chris Parrish. Thank you so much, man. It just motivates me to just not give up and keep going. You gave me goosebumps. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. All right, everybody. This has been episode 90 of the Chris Parrish podcast. This has been part 2 with Kamikaze. I just want to remind every one of you to be kind, to be happy, and be healthy, because at the end of the day, you matter. I'll see you next week.
Rip through the clouds, faster, catch us from falling close to the ground.